million pounds in cash or 1 million followers?
1 million followers.
1 million followers.
1 million followers.
Across the board, 1 million followers, those young men there. And given the decision between £1 million, in their case, of cash or those followers, an entrepreneur named Samir asked kids in London if they'd rather have one or the other, and we see where that's going. Let's see more of this though, because it was a bit of an experiment. Let's watch.
Because then, when you get the 1 million followers, you'll eventually get more and more, and then those followers might give you donations and stuff, and eventually it'll add up to more than 1 million.
You could start a business, and because you have 1 million followers, you could just put a link in your bio. They can click onto it, and they can buy products that are over £1, which means you'll earn over £1 million or dollars.
Do you think every one of your followers will buy?
No, not all, but it depends on how much money you sell it for.
I'd say if you have 1 million followers, it'll be easier to gain support from other people. And if you spread all your followers around the world, you can make a lot of money.
It all comes back to money. These kids are smarter than you guys. I thought you guys were talking trash about them. But maybe some of these kids are still in agreement with many of us old folks would probably think. Let's watch that.
1 million pounds or 1 million followers?
Yeah, £1 million, I think.
What would you do with it?
Maybe. Probably help my family or start a business.
£1 million. I don't use social media. I don't care about followers.
What would you do with 1 million pounds?
£1 million. I would hire an accountant and a financial advisor, probably. I don't know what I'd do from there. They tell me what to do from there, innit?
I feel like they didn't ask, they maybe excluded some of the kids like, buy a car in a house. Of course, if you're gonna take the money, it's time to invest, work to make it more. But that's the same thought when it comes to the 1 million followers. As a matter of fact, Samir defended those kids who did say that and expanded on it as well. They wrote, the value of money has changed for kids growing up now, is what she said, with $1 million in this case, no longer being an impressively huge sum of money, probably because of housing, and that's specifically here. But still, a social media following is also valuable for whatever career path that they want, not just becoming an influencer. Young people aspire to be actors, singers, athletes, journalists, and countless other careers, all of which can benefit from reaching more people. Their favorite athletes all have social media. They have shows on Netflix. They have brand deals, is what Samir said. So it goes hand in hand now. Also, what really surprised me out of everything is how people are really diehard going to defend their point of view, is what Samir said, especially on TikTok, when you've got adults being like, these kids are stupid, blah, 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 and they're super into their views and there's no middle ground anymore. In contrast, she said, the kids she asked gave their opinion and formulated an argument. That's more than what some adults can do. So of course, the question then comes to the audience here. Are you as smart as I mean, those kids look like they were 13 years old about. Are you as smart as a teenager? One that's just got out of the tween age. So here's this question for the audience here. Would you rather have $1 million or 1 million followers? Hey, why not the third option? I'd rather have £1 million than $1 million. Let's keep it real for obvious reasons there. So okay, let's open up to you guys, because again, they gave the reasons behind this, at least the one or the other. But sometimes, AB, you may not be able to finesse the 1 million followers into several $1 million the way these kids talked about. Everyone can't really do it the way you can.
I mean, yeah, I would say as an adult, right, who got their opportunity by having a lot of followers on social media, right? Excuse me, that's where I started, and that's what I do now. I'm an influencer. I'm gonna choose the 1 million followers because you can create more opportunities that way. I think the kids, if you hear the difference in the arguments between the two groups of students, right? So the students who said, I would take the 1 million followers, they had an entrepreneur mindset. And they were like, well, I have multiple options for that, right? A lot of us are not taught financial literacy. So just giving us money doesn't really help us, because once the $1 million is gone, or if we don't invest it properly, then what do we do? With the 1 million followers, as I said, like, your followers will support you. Maybe not all 1 million, but you can get a nice chunk of them to support you, to help you sustain yourself financially and create other opportunities and other growth opportunities financially. So, I mean, I get it, right? With the other kids when they're like, oh, well, I'll just take the £1 million and I'll help my family and do this, that, and the third. But once that £1 million is gone, then what?
Can I ask you a question, AB? So you've got the 1 million followers. This is just which I would also maybe ask the kids as well. And I think what it comes to sometimes is now you have a bit of a responsibility to continue to build something where this support will continue to be there. It's the job at that point. That's when sometimes you may see influencers go from like the natural state of who they were at first to then being like this, not necessarily robot, but this content robot who continues to have to put something out. In order for that to continue to get some kind of a return, then your life just becomes that. You have to be ready for that. And if you don't want it, maybe take the car in the house.
I mean, I can attest to that, right? Like we just hit the 1 year anniversary of my big Russia-Ukraine video, right? Mm-hmm. And I did feel like a bit of a robot last year because I just didn't know what I was getting into. This was a new realm for me. Obviously, I was only focused on becoming an attorney. And then once everything hit, I did feel that pressure of like having to put out content continuously and then almost feeling like, well, this isn't quite me. But I think with that now, by recognizing that and seeing these type of patterns, this also creates opportunities for other people who don't necessarily want to be influencers, but can maybe mentor influencers or provide certain types of therapy for influencers to help them make a balance in these type of change in lifestyles. Because I think with any job that you have, you are going to experience different stresses that may change your personality. Whether you are an attorney, whether you're a police officer, right? Whether you work in a factory, there will be certain things that pressure you or make you feel outside of yourself that you will have to learn how to balance. So I think it's all about creating a balance and understanding that the younger generation, this is their way, right? But at the same time, this is really no different from the child stars, the Disney stars we had back in the day, right? It's just more of them now.
Yeah, and it's also that if you look at the overall like data on where young people are right now in the United States, the youngest generation, or I guess one might say Gen Z, is the first generation in the history of the United States to make less than its parents, if you control for inflation, right? And I think that's really, really important to look at in relation to this, right? Young people gotta hustle. You gotta do what you can with whatever the resources are that are around you, because that traditional kind of idea that the United States sort of offered to people, that I work a 40-hour job and that's sufficient for me to not go into debt, to be able to have healthcare, education, maybe even a mortgage, that's done. That's done for right now, right? Even amidst these sort of more positive unemployment numbers, it's unemployment. We might have less unemployment, but the nature of that employment is not sufficient. The nature of the income is not sufficient to actually have enough people with the living wage. So it makes tons of sense on online digital platforms where attention is a currency, right? And your followers are those that you can creatively leverage into different directions, like you're describing, AB. It makes sense. But I think all of this exists within a backdrop of a world that is technologically mediated, right? Where like data and technology influence almost every aspect of our lives, even if we're not in front of a screen. And these are the ways in which youth and younger people have to hustle to try to make a living. I mean, this is a type of entrepreneurialism, and I totally appreciate and respect anyone who's trying to make it in whatever ways they can. And because outside of that traditional social contract of work is very much eroded in this country.
Whenever we see society change to this degree, to where this is the normal approach to maybe the way that people may see money or their future, and even as from kids' range, they wouldn't see it as much work as far as employment type of work. But this is the thought process to come in that direction.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.